Hey guys, and welcome to the JLo Show's first review. Now, just to straight off the bat, before we start any old argument or whatever, it is going to be a completely subjective review. It is completely my own opinion of the game, and it's just to give you guys a bit of a lowdown of what you might be in store for if you're looking to buy the game, and just the overall experience of the game. Okay, so let's talk about Quantum Break. Now, Quantum Break is based around the main character, Jack Joyce, played by Shawn Ashmore. Many people have seen him in all sorts of things. He played Iceman and X-Men along with his twin brother, I believe. And he was in a show called The Following. Very decent actor, holds really, really strong, and portrays the character really, really well. There's a few other huge actors in this game, along with the guy that plays Littlefinger in Game of Thrones, and a couple of other ones I can't remember off the top of my head. But really solid actors who deliver this combination game between a live action TV show and a really story driven narrative story that Remedy Entertainment is so well known for. They've brought out other games like Alan Wake, which was in 2010, and they did the Max Payne game in 2001. Both games with very mixed audience reviews. Alan Wake, in my opinion, was a great game, and this just seemed to bring the best out of Remedy yet again. Now, that is not to say the game is not without its flaws, but to be honest, this game really does show us what Remedy Entertainment are capable of doing. Now, the game playthrough I found for me was about 10 hours, give or take a little bit. I found that the game was at parts really repetitive, and at other parts was just extremely innovative and really showed me how to change things. The story consists of a movie-like pacing. Okay, so the movie-like pacing, it brings really fast and concise points through, leaving all the dilly-dally and unnecessary information away from the plot. It really just gives you the bits that you need to know, grounded with just enough information about the characters to make you give a shit. And I really think that was important for this kind of game. I felt like it did not need to be dragged out. It did not need to be over the top, and it doesn't do that. It is, like I said, brought to you a bit like a movie plot. It gives you just enough to hook you in and keep it flowing at a really good pace. On the other hand, though, when it comes to the story, I do feel like there was a couple of tricks missed. There was a couple of really cheesy romantic moments that just did not complement the story. Going through the game to begin with, I thought this is great. No romance in the story, which don't get me wrong, I'm an old school romantic. I love that stuff, but I did not need it in this story. And this game just brought you some. It was like a question of betrayal, loyalty, and brotherhood, and friendship, and then just needlessly put in there through the live action show and a couple of little cutscenes in the game. They just threw in just a little bit of cheesy sexual tension moments that just had no reference to the game whatsoever. The gameplay is a mixture of good and bad. Okay, the feel of Jack Joyce as you play with him, you can tell movements were game captured. He really feels like a human being moving on the screen, and the controls through the Xbox One controller, which I used to play this game, were really intuitive. I liked them. He was smooth. It was an action game, and that's what it feels like. It's not any sort of game where you can tell it's a linear game, and it feels like that, but you feel powerful the whole time. Even the way he walks and he moves and he carries his shoulders and the way he climbs through the vents, it was a really good portrayal of how to make you feel like Jack Joyce. However, the gunplay in this game was not up to standard, in my opinion. You had a selection of different guns. You had the assault SMG, the tactical SMG, the advanced SMG, and really cliche names for these things, and not any different from each other. There was no point in picking up any other weapon because it didn't really. It went from burst fire to automatic fire, but really little to no difference in a game like this. I feel like they really wasted time on giving you the option to pick up other weapons in certain slots. Your special weapon slot, however, I feel like was a big difference. You had your light machine gun, your shotgun, or your sniper rifle. But other than that, little to no purpose whatsoever, in my opinion, and it made you have faith in a gunplay system that just didn't back it up when you were playing it. It is a third-person shooter. It is cover-based. The AI really are good at bringing you out of that cover and making you feel a little bit more action-paced, not allowing you to just camp back in the game, which I feel like if you had that capability, you would do it, because at some points it's necessary. However, it would ruin that action pace for me, and it really did at some points push me to die in places that in most games you wouldn't die, but that AI just gets inside your head, man, makes you make some stupid mistakes, and that is a great thing in my opinion. There are so many little collectibles in this game to pick up. You've got your Chronon power-ups that allow you to level up your character, which just gives you a little bit more flexibility on choosing whether you're going to make your time dash better, which is an ability that allows you to just literally dash. I don't know why I had the sound effect there, but yeah, time dash. You've got your time bubble, which stops people from obviously hitting you with bullets. It gives you a little bit of time to just kind of get out of the way from bullets. You've got your freeze time ability, which allows you to pack bullets up against enemies, and then you've got a couple of like time explosion abilities and stopping time and running really fast, which allows you to do some really cool melee kills. Now there's a couple of design choices in the game that I don't necessarily agree with, and I don't really understand why Remedy would make such little mistakes in the game that I feel like are really important in a game like this, in a linear story-driven game, which is exactly what this is. It is a linear experience with a couple of illusions of choice. However, it really does direct linear story, and I appreciate that game type. Death animations. There are little puzzles in the game where you have to stop time to go through objects. Now, I tried to play this game as quickly as I possibly could, so I got tired at certain points of the night, which allowed me to make some really sloppy mistakes, which allowed me to notice some really sloppy mistakes made by the developers. When you stop time, it's like an automatic doorway, right? Okay, it was these glass doors opening and shutting, but time was glitching out, time had frozen, and they were just stuttering away, and I somehow managed to stop in between these doors and get crushed by the doors, wherein which my character just flopped to the ground like a sack of tatties. It literally had no, there was no gravitas to the situation at all. There's several other times where I jumped from some really high heights just to see what would happen. Why not? Yet again, to be made like a floppy fish. There was no impact. A game that has very little humor in it, if any at all, and like I don't understand why they just didn't add just these little tiny frills that would have kept me immersed in the game, which would have made me feel something when my character died, and it just didn't. It was just, he died, try again. It really pulled me out of the game, and I know it sounds like such a little nitty-picky thing to go for, but when you're playing a game that is completely based on immersion and something really takes you out of that immersion, that's a bad point. So I really feel like that's something that they really should have thought about. The ending of the story of this game, it's a hard one. Without giving you any spoilers of the game whatsoever, in some ways they really do round the story off, and in other ways they really don't, and it leaves you on a cliffhanger of you don't really know how to feel. And I don't know if that's intentional, but with a story like this, the linear story driving you down this pathway through the entire game, giving you little intricate choices at these junction points throughout the game where you play as the evil guy at the end of every act in the game, and allowing you to make a choice where he goes in a more violent act streak, or takes a more tactical PR approach, or where you choose to trust your right hand man or the doctor that's saving your life because you're not sure which one's betraying you more, and then with an ending that really doesn't round off some of these points. It felt almost like a movie that leaves it open for a sequel. When you leave the cinema and you go home, you tell your friends, the movie's great, the movie's really, really good, but there's definitely going to be a sequel. it felt like this, but at the same time it closed off enough of the points where they really don't have to. Now I get a reason why they did that, but it felt just a little sloppy. I feel like they should have rounded it off better on a place that they could continue on from, but didn't have to. I feel like it was a game that needed that circle, and I don't feel like it was delivered. Now, my overall feel of this game would be that I could not put my controller down. I really enjoyed this game, without a doubt. But I feel like the game was not perfect, but it delivered exactly what the trailers and all the interviews in that promised. It did not try to be anything that it wasn't. It is a story game with some really good story mechanics thrown in there. And if you're looking for an adventure ride to go down for 10 hours, this is a game that you will genuinely enjoy. If you're looking for a Gears of War third-person shooter, something to tickle your Division button, this is not going to do it. But if you're looking for something you can sit there and play with your girlfriend or your mates next to you and really enjoy and experience, or if you're just looking in for a Friday night game that just really allows you to, like you would a TV show or a movie, that really gets you into a story, and that this game is going to tickle that button, and it does it phenomenally well. I genuinely, in my opinion, would get this game again. I really enjoyed it. I felt like it was well worth my money. There was no game-breaking bugs in it. The game was phenomenally enjoyable from start to finish. At no point did the game really let me down. I knew exactly what I was getting into, and I got what I paid for, and I would do it again. But for anyone out there that does not play games for storyline, that does not enjoy story and is there for difficult bosses or loot or any other command mechanics, that this game was never going to be for you, and you're going to hate it. But this is a game that I feel like Xbox really needed in its lineup, and I feel like a lot of you will really enjoy it, and I really hope you guys give it a chance. Thank you so much for watching my review today of Quantum Break. I really hope you enjoy it. Leave some comments down below and let me know what you guys think of the game if you were to try it out, or if you're never going to try it out, let me know why. Catch you guys soon. Please take care. Bye.